What if you could mod your Swiss Army knife in just minutes and with no experience to add titanium scales, a pocket clip, pen, flashlight, or even a USB drive? Well, that's the promise of the Versa 58 system by Keyport. In this video, we're going to figure out whether it's really worth all the hype. Keyport is best known for stackable modular EDC multi-tools like their pivot system. The Versa 58 shrinks that same modular idea down to work with any Victorinox 58mm knife, your classic SD, Rambler, Jet Setter, and more. It replaces your stock plastic scales with a system of modules that you can attach to the outside of your Swiss Army knife. There's no glue, no damage, they just snap on and off. Keyport collaborated with Dominic from Max Level EDC on this system, so you know they wanted to do things right. At launch, there are 5 modules. The clip and V-scales come in black aluminum or natural titanium. The clip adds a pocket clip, and the V-scale is clean and flat. One great feature is both have a slot for scale tools, like a toothpick or tweezers, which A-Lock scales don't have. Next, the flare flashlight. It's USB rechargeable, has 2 brightness levels, plus a lantern mode with 3 side LEDs. The pen module is similar to Victorinox's pen, but upgraded with a German Troika refill. The USB flash drive module comes in either 64 or 256 gigs of storage with fast USB 3.0 speeds. Each module can also snap into these optional mag mounts so they'll stick to metal surfaces, or you can snap 2 modules together and carry them without a knife. It's surprisingly useful and also extremely fidgety. Keyport also encourages makers like me to tap into their ecosystem. They offer the mounting parts separately and want people to use them in their projects. Just for fun, I did a version that works with my Knipex multi-tool sheath. All I had to do was design a small indent that would hold the modules, install 3 small magnets, and now I can snap in a flashlight, pocket clip, or more in seconds. This is really exciting stuff. To test the Versa 58 system, I bought a brand new Rambler from Victorinox. It's my favorite 58mm model thanks to the 3D Phillips and bottle opener tool. Up until now, I've never removed the scales from any of my Swiss Army knives, and it turns out it's surprisingly easy. First, drop the knife in a glass of warm water for a few minutes to soften up the plastic. Then slide a small blade under the edge, twist slightly on both ends, and the scales pop right off. Honestly, this is way easier than I expected. Each module uses this cleverly designed interface plate that slides over the brass rivets and locks into place. My plan is to level up the Rambler to a Midnight Manager by adding the pen and flashlight modules. Because the 58mm pins are symmetrical, you can flip the modules in either direction. I'm pointing the pen and flashlight away from the lanyard loop so it's not in the way. To install a module, align the holes with the pins, slide, and press until it clicks. It took a couple tries to get a feel for it, but once it clicks, well, you know. In just a few minutes, with 0 experience, I turned my stock Rambler into a fully customized black aluminum Midnight Manager with flashlight and pen. That's pretty damn cool. Compared with the original Midnight Manager, this setup is definitely thicker and heavier, but it also does much more. The flashlight has similar brightness on high, but adds a handy low mode and has a wider, more even throw. The 3 side LEDs create a bright, even light that's great for reading or lighting up a small area. It's actually my favorite part of the flashlight. There's also a proper on-off switch and USB-C charging, so no more disposable button cells and having to squeeze the thing the whole time. The pen is really handy to have and writes very smoothly. It's also surprisingly ergonomic if you flip out the Phillips driver and use it as a handrest. Even though this is pretty thick, it still disappears in your pocket because the 58mm models are just so small. This flashlight pen combo is probably the one that I would EDC, but let's check out some of the other modules. I want to try out the USB drive next, but first we have to remove the pen module. Now I'll admit this was a little tricky at first. Dominic showed me a technique that John Gadget figured out, and once you know it, it makes it so much easier to remove. The trick is to hold it lengthwise with your thumb pushing the module towards the opposite end where the release tab is. Then with your other hand, lift the release tab towards the module and it should pop right off. If your fingernails are really short, you can also use a small file to lever the release tab up. Easy peas. Swapping the pen for the USB drive gives you a fully maxed out build that's still very pocketable. Victorinox used to sell USB-equipped 58mm models, but they're discontinued and expensive on eBay, so it's a great way to bring these models back. I personally don't carry a flash drive every day, but I tried it on my Mac and it works flawlessly, with really fast transfer speeds. If you want a more streamlined look, the black aluminum clip and V-scales look great. Unlike the Victorinox Alox metal scales, I love that Keysmart added machine slots for scale tools, and the beveled openings make them easier to grab. This attention to detail is what makes this system feel so refined. Personally, I love the grade 5 titanium version of these. They look like a proper high-end mod. So who is this for? Well, the first group would be folks that want to have metal scales on their Swiss Army knife without all the hassle. Metal scales normally require you to permanently glue them down. The Versa 58 system is easily removable, includes a nice pocket clip, scale tool slots, and is competitively priced at $45 for aluminum with early bird pricing on Kickstarter. You can also find a modder to build your custom Swiss Army knife. I was obsessed and paid almost $100 for a Rambler with Alox scales. You could build a similar titanium Versa 58 version for the same price and gain scale tools and a pocket clip. Second, this is for people that want a specific Swiss Army knife that's no longer made. You can recreate a discontinued model like the Manager, Midnight Manager, or some of the USB-equipped at-work models, often for less than used prices on eBay, so if there's a model you miss, this is a great option. Third, if you obsess over your EDC carry like I do, this system is incredibly satisfying. Now that I have some practice in, I can swap both scales in less than a minute. So day to day, I might carry the light and pen, but if I'm going out and want something dressier, I can use the slim scales with pocket clip that look great with dress pants. If I'm going off and shooting a lot of video or photos, I can snap in the USB module to offload files. It's just really fun to have the option to adjust your carry like this. Fourth, this is great for creators like me who want to tap into this system. Keyport wants to build an entire ecosystem around the Versa 58 and will be selling the mounting plates and mag mounts separately, which opens up a lot of possibilities for makers. Adding this to my Knipex multi-tool sheath was super simple. If there's interest, maybe I'll make some of these, so let me know down in the comments. Oh, and if you like this Knipex sheath, I'm going to be doing monthly drops, but you need to join my Patreon for free so you know when those happen. I won't always be announcing them on YouTube, and in fact, I just had one a few days ago and sold out before we got to YouTube. All right, so let's wrap this up and try to answer the question. Is the Versa 58 system any good? Yes, it completely delivers on its promises, and it's a really slick system that's very innovative. It's well made, beginner friendly, completely reversible, and genuinely fun to use. Now there are some trade-offs, but they're minor. Any modular system will be slightly thicker than a fully integrated tool, but Keyport did a great job of making strong connections that are under 1 millimeter thick. Next, module removal does take some practice and fingernails, but it works very well once you know that trick. Next, module options are pretty limited at launch, but Keysmart already has a strong roadmap with things like Bluetooth trackers, various blades, a lighter holder, and much more. There's also only 2 finishes available now, the black aluminum and titanium, but judging with what they've done with their other systems, there's going to be a lot more scale options in the future. Lastly, crowdsourcing always carries some risk, and that's a reason why I don't normally cover products like this on my channel. Remember, nothing is guaranteed, but Keyport does have real experience building products, and this campaign is already well past its goal, so they should have the ability to deliver. Overall, I'm really impressed with the Versa 58 system, and in fact, I would have backed this on Kickstarter myself if they hadn't sent me samples. Long term, I'd love if they came up with stackable middle layers so you could roll your own knife. Imagine if you had a layer with scissors, another one with a blade, and you could just stack up whatever you wanted. I think for a lot of us in the community, this is the holy grail of a completely configurable Swiss Army knife, so I really hope they move into that territory. It would also be really cool if they had a 91mm version of this, but I do think you would feel the thickness a lot more on a larger tool like that. If you decide to back the Versa 58 project on Kickstarter, consider using my link down in the description because it helps the channel. So what do you think? Would you buy this system? Let me know what you think down in the comments. And remember to join my Patreon if you want to know what's going on and get early access to drops. Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time.